The coronavirus pandemic has affected all students and classes on campus, but in the midst of social distancing and mandated masks, a collective voice is working hard to spread cheer through singing. The Baker University Concert Choir, Chamber Singers, and Treble Choir have been hard at work with rehearsals despite the semester's obstacles. I got to speak with Dr. Ryan Olsen, director of the choir program, about how these practices came to be.
It's been an interesting adjustment. We're still rehearsing on our normal times. We're splitting in-person rehearsals and doing some Zoom rehearsals. I bought an audio interface so I can directly hook an electric keyboard straight up to them so that the sound comes straight to them. We tried last semester trying to do any rehearsals with our feeds live or without our microphones muted. And just the latency with different lag times just made it impossible. We're also shifting this semester on the online portions to doing like mini voice lessons, where I'm just going through some vocal technique things and some of the things that are vocal and musical elements that are appearing in our music. We're also using it as a way that I can share fold files that I can't normally share. So I'm sharing some apps that I work with them, some models of how the vocal mechanism works, on how the anatomy works. So they're actually able to see the musculature. I can share videos with them of people being stroboscoped, so you can actually see vocal folds in motion. And so it's been a useful tool to add in. In person, we've been meeting outside when we can, especially our smaller groups like Chamber Singers, which only has about 14 people. They've been able to rehearse outside and they don't need a piano. We've either been rehearsing in Rice Auditorium, so like the large concert choir that's got about 40 students has been meeting in Rice Auditorium, and they've been spread out in the seats that are available, just like every other class that meets in there. And so it's been a challenge to here and there, but it works. We've also had chamber singers in some of the smaller groups meet in the church at First United Methodist Church, the sanctuary, because the sound there has a lot more echo and a reverberance. So we just open up the windows in there. We have the air conditioner on just to make sure that the air has been moving around. We always sing with masks. We have specialized singing masks, so it's been much more helpful. These are called resonant singing masks. They also have the option to put in a filter, because singing is identified as a potentially super spreading activity where, because we are breathing more forcefully and articulating our consonants and sounds more, that we're more likely to spread aerosols and droplets. Some things worked better than we expected. Some things were harder. Rehearsing spread out is really hard because as a singer, we rely so much on what we can hear. And it's not just hearing the people on either side directly of us, but hearing across an entire group. So singing in Rice Auditorium is pretty dry. It's not a very live space, so it's really hard to hear anybody that's more than, say, 10 or 15 feet away from you. And so now we've got students spread out all across the auditorium. Singing outside is very difficult because the wind dissipates the sound as well. And there's all sorts of course, other extraneous white noise. So acoustically, being in the church has been the best space for us. But the problem is there, again, having access to a piano, it's also doesn't work as well for large spaces just because it's not that big of a space. And also we're wanting to be respectful of the church's space and their liabilities and their insurance abilities too. It's been trying to do anything online is extremely difficult with singing because what's happening is they're highly processed and produced videos of people that send in a recording, send in a video recording, and they're usually two different recordings. So they'll send an audio recording and a video recording. Somebody syncs those up, makes sure that they're all with a click track so that they're all at the exact same time with everybody. And then an audio and video engineer puts it together in various software programs and puts together a really slick production that gets put online.
With the singers working hard towards their next act, it raises the question, when will we be able to hear the choir perform?
We don't have one scheduled right now. We're working on recording some holiday music so we can still have an annual Vespers performance. And we're going to record that since we're done at Thanksgiving anyway. Normally our Vespers concert is the week or two following that. So we're going to have a bunch of videos that we're going to put together as either a YouTube playlist or something like that we can share on social media. So we'll still have our annual Vespers concert. It'll just look a little different this year.
This has been Colton Kalovich, Baker Orange.